Morning everyone, it's Jess. Today is Saturday, I think it's the 12th of June. I'm just about to do some pottering around the garden, so I just thought I'd show you guys a couple of things. Namely, I've got some plants that aren't doing so well, so I just thought it might be helpful to show you guys what that looks like, just so you guys can keep it as a reference. So the first plant I wanted to show you was my philodendron exilium, and this guy, guys, this guy has root rot, and this is probably an advanced stage of it because his leaf is pretty floppy, but I kind of already knew this and it's my bad because he's been floppy for a while. So you can see that the soil, I actually haven't watered this guy for a while. You can see it's still quite moist. So what I've got to do to treat him is I'm going to pot him up in some new soil. The next plant, guys, is this philodendron tortum, and I think I showed it in a video a few days ago. This guy is not doing so well, and I think it has some frostbite or at least some cold because he's started yellowing, and I guess the difference between the yellowing is, I don't know if you can see, you can easily tell the difference between them, but I think from a structural perspective, my exilium's gone floppy, so he's not supporting himself anymore, whereas my tortum is still erect, but he's yellowing in the leaves. So I know it's a bit hard to troubleshoot your plants just by looking at them, but hopefully, guys, this might help some of you. If you see your plant becoming floppy and yellowing, it's probably a sign of root rot, versus, you know, if it's yellowing from within, still retaining most of its structure, because his roots still look still see a bit of aerial root, so it's still growing, but you know, he's yellowing here. So what I'm going to do, guys, is I'm going to check his roots now, and then with this one I'm just kind of bringing him out for some sunshine because I keep this guy indoors now to keep him a little bit warmer. Also, guys, can you see the slight sort of rotting, it's kind of really mushiness at the stem? It's another sign of root rot, but guys, it's not until we repot this plant do we actually see the extent of it, or actually can confirm if it's actually root rot. Alright guys, so I feel like my suspicions have been confirmed. Can you see how his roots are quite brown? There's probably some dead roots in there. Now, I'm not going to really see the extent of it until I wash this dirt off and see how brown those roots are, because the other thing I've got to be mindful is I did give this guy some sea salt, which might have stained his roots and given it a browny orangey color. I do feel like it is root rot. I mean, this piece, I was just able to pull it right off. It's not a good sign, guys. So I had taken out some repotting material, but I'm going to decide whether or not I actually just pop him in some perlite or soil. So let's wash this guy up and see how bad the root rot is. Now guys, actually I've washed the soil off, and you know what, I'm actually quite pleased to say the root rot is not that bad. I didn't notice any stringy roots. Like normally with root rot, what happens is that your roots, you can actually pull bits of it away. It becomes so mushy that when you can pull bits away, and what's left is these stringy bits, but I actually can't do it for any of these roots. This bit, this is probably the worst of it. This does feel a lot more thin and squishy, but I still can't, it doesn't completely tear away when I pull at it. And guys, this is still a good root. This is still a healthy root. It's a little bit orange because of the sea salt. So most of it seems to be okay. I think if I didn't, you know, to be honest, I've probably left it a little bit long to be able to actually check on him. I should have actually maybe checked on him even a week ago. But it's good that, you know, we're able to check on him now, and hopefully any damage to him is minimized. I think I'm still going to put him in some soil. I think that still is the best option. But yeah guys, I just wanted to share with you guys that I think this is the early stages of root rot. If you don't pick this up soon, it will turn pretty bad, and it can turn quite bad quite quickly. But so far it's not too bad. So what I'm going to do is actually I'm going to pot him up in some fresh soil. This is probably not as aerated as I like it to be, and I'm going to put some pumice and a heap of charcoal in here. Guys, I also wanted to show you this. I got this week. I'm so excited. I can't wait. I know they use this to create sort of a house for a reptile, but I'm so excited to be able to turn this into a terrarium, guys. And then also over there, I think it's got the lid, and then I bought a lamp for it. So this is a little bit of a spoil for myself, but I'm so excited for this, guys. I can't wait to actually open it. And yeah, and hopefully I can put some of my orchids in here, which should be super cool. Would you look at this? This is what the setup could be. So excited, guys. So this is the compact top. This is where the light can get in, and you can lift it up like this. That's where you put the light bulb. And then what happens is, where did I put my light bulb? Oh guys, this is the light bulb that can go in there, and then yeah, it sort of lights up in here. Guys, I'm so excited. So the door opens like that, guys. That's the lock, because of course if you're keeping animals in here, you don't want them to escape, but I'm going to be keeping plants in here, and my plants hopefully won't be escaping. But you're just opening it up. How cool is that, guys? So I don't know if you could see in there, but there's this styrofoam backing that makes it look like rock. I'm gonna see, sorry, my neighbors are screaming, but I don't really mind just today because I'm so excited to show everyone. So I was saying that this has the styrofoam backing that I'm hoping to remove and create a sphagnum moss wall where I can grow my Rapidoria crypanthus. Woohoo, guys! I was able to get this out without really damaging him, which is great. And so I also just did a quick measure, and this gutter mesh is the perfect width to create a moss wall. So I think I might do that. The other thing I might do is I might create a false bottom using this. Now false bottom helps any excess moisture to drain down from below. Alright guys, so I've cut out 2 pieces of gutter mesh, which are about the height of the terrarium. I'm going to cover these in sphagnum to make a sphagnum wall against the back of this terrarium. The only concern I have is that it might be too floppy. I should have put a stake or something to keep him upright, but it's an experimental process. Guys, I'm a little bit chuffed, if I have to say so myself. Oh my goodness, guys, so I just made this wall. You would have seen the 2 pieces, and what I did was I dampened some sphagnum moss and then I laid it over, and then I popped the other one on top. I wasn't sure how I was going to hold it all in place, but I found some I think fishing wire, guys. So you see what you have lying around your house to use. I also found this plank of wood. I thought I could have used this to prop it up, but it doesn't look like I needed it. And I found this bamboo, which I thought I could use to stand it up if it was too floppy. It doesn't look half bad, eh? So I just used the fishing wire all around the edges, so sewing it up like a pocket. The good thing about the fishing wire is that it's clear, so you can't really see it. And I tied it up at the end. So the test was really to see if this guide fit properly, and it did. Look, guys, I'm so pleased with it. Now what I'm going to do here is I'm going to also create a false bottom. So I might have said this at the beginning, but what you want to do is you want to create a false bottom up here. So it's almost somewhere where you can put soil in, but you want the water to be able to leak through. So that's what I want to do, guys. And that's a good way to prevent any rot. So how I'm going to create the false bottom is actually, I'm going to watch Sherpa Designs. I know I mentioned him in my last video. Hey guys, so I just had a quick watch of Sherpa Designs Terrarium vivarium making video, and to make the false bottom, what he does is he gets some gravel. Now I've got some pebbles that I found lying around in our garage, so I'm going to take a bit of that, and what he does is he then washes the gravel. So I'm going to do that right now. I've also got some perlite and pumice, and I thought I'd just chuck them in there as well, because, you know, I figured why not. I didn't want to use too much of those pebbles, because quite nice pebbles actually, and they're going to be sitting in the bottom. Now the purpose of this step is really to provide some drainage for the water to actually get through to the bottom. So adding a bit of perlite and pumice doesn't really detract from the function. So I'm going to just continue to rinse this, and the next step he does is that he soaks some charcoal. So I'll show you guys when I do that. Now guys, I need to pour enough so that it covers the base of that terrarium. So I've poured out a bit this much. Now what we'll do is we'll soak this in water, and he says to soak it for about 30 minutes. Guys, so I think I might have made a mistake, because he said to soak the charcoal, but I think he needed to soak the charcoal because he needed to break it up into smaller pieces to use, whereas I already got horticultural charcoal, so maybe I didn't really need to soak this charcoal, but I have anyway, and kind of look like this sludge. So I actually transferred them into one of these pots with holes so that the water will drain through. But guys, sorry, there's doggies barking, but guys, I just want to show you what charcoal can do. Charcoal, whoops. Actually, this is a very poor demonstration. I was just going to say that charcoal is very good at purifying water, and I wanted to say, look how pure this water is, but then I just lifted it up and all this excess charcoal runoff has just happened. So, but guys, you should have seen it before. Charcoal does purify water, and there we go, you can see a little bit of that. That's quite clear water, eh guys? I just thought I wanted to show you guys that. Oh. Hey everyone, it probably looks the same. I'm conscious that I probably dressed the same as 2 days ago when I was first filming this video, but I guess I did the laundry, so I'm wearing the same hoodie. But it's Monday morning now, and I realized I didn't finish my terrarium that I was halfway through, so I wanted to do that with you guys now. It's about 12 o'clock, so lunchtime, and I wanted to just film some stuff before some of my neighbors get back home. So guys, here it is. Here's where we were last time, and what we're going to do now is I'm going to fill this up with the charcoal that we rinsed and it's dried up, and also the gravel at the bottom. So I think on Saturday, the last you saw was me rinsing this up, and now it's nice and dry, and the pebbles have also dried up. And you might remember that I was following a Sherpa Designs video for creating this substrate. So let's fill this up. The next step, guys, is we've got to create the actual substrate. So that's using some core, some potting mix. So that's the next step, guys. Guys, we've got that first layer in, and the one thing I'm conscious of is I'm just conscious the one thing I'm just conscious of is I just don't want to fill up with too much pebble because it's going to be quite heavy to carry. So, but I think I've got a good coverage over the bottom. Next thing is to add this charcoal. Right guys, so I've got that added in. You can, ooh, whoopsies. I've got that added in. Now, one thing I guess guys you want to be mindful of when you're dealing with charcoal is there's a lot of powder or dust, charcoal dust that rises up when you're using it, so just please be careful not to inhale all of that in. That's not good for you. And one of the things with draining or rinsing out the charcoal, putting water on it, is that it helps with dampening the dust so it doesn't fly up when I to use it. Now I guess for me, I wasn't wearing a mask guys when I was handling it, but I was also careful to handle the charcoal gently so that none of the dust does come up. Sorry, if I'm sounding distracted, I just realized my eye bags are pretty intense. I've got a bad habit guys, I've been staying up quite late these days just watching videos on YouTube. But guys, now we've got the charcoal laid on, and next thing I actually have to do is actually got to create the substrate. And I think the material he uses is some cool, orchid bark and some peat moss, and what he does is that he soaks that in and lets that expand. So I've yet to do that, but I'm going to do that now. So this is the core I'm going to use, and I made a silly mistake when I bought this because I thought that you could just break this up like sphagnum, but it's actually really hard to. And I think for one of my earlier projects, or when I was trying to create some potting mix, I had tried to break it out, but it's actually really hard guys. So I think when you do buy this product, just make sure you have to soak all of it. You've got to prep all of it in one go, and what you then want to do is probably for the parts of it that you're not going to use, you can then store it for later use. Alright guys, so instructions are to then leave it for half an hour, and then hopefully it will expand, and then we should be able to come back to use it to create the substrate. Guys, I actually did something really silly. I should have followed instructions a lot better. But I'm supposed to put netting over the gravel before I put on the charcoal. But I put the charcoal on top of the gravel. Gosh. Now I'm trying to figure out how I should, maybe I can extract the bigger lumps and then put a fine netting on. Oh my god guys, I'm like giving myself so much work. But one thing I figured out is that because charcoal floats, what I did was I tipped all those rocks and charcoal into a bucket, filled it up with water, and just scooping the charcoal out. I think I'm doing okay. Alright guys, that's probably the best I can do in terms of separating back out the charcoal and pebbles. Now I guess it's back to square one. Alright guys, so netting is in. This was the step you were supposed to do before you put the charcoal in, and now I'm going to put the charcoal in on top of this. Oh guys, by the way, this netting is just a bit of netting I found lying around at home. I think it was from an old screen door we used to have. So I've put the layer of charcoal on top, and I actually went back in and filled it a little bit more because I think I lost part of it with the pebbles. So I filled it up with some more charcoal, and the next bit is the substrate. I just double checked the video, and the substrate is 1 part core mix, 1 part horticultural sand, 1 part orchid bark, and then 2 parts sphagnum moss. So I'm gonna hopefully be able to create it now. The sun's going down and I've actually got another Zoom call to hop onto, so hopefully I'll be able to do it today. I was actually really hoping to be able to finish the terrarium today, so I don't know if I'm able to do that yet, but we'll see. This is what that substrate mix looks like. I did follow the instructions this time, but the only thing I didn't do was, I don't have any sand, so I used some succulent and cacti mix, which was a bit grainy. The problem with it is I don't think the commercial brand I used was that great, so I'm just a bit dubious about it. But everything else I followed. It does look a bit sphagnum-y, but hopefully that's not going to be too much of a concern. The substrate mix I did follow is for a tropical mix, so the plants I'm planning to put in here are also going to be tropical, so hopefully they're going to enjoy that. But what I'm going to do, guys, is I'm going to lay this on top in there. So guys, sorry if you don't mind the lopsidedness, but this is the end of sort of day, well, I don't know, it's not technically day one, but this is what I could get up to today. I ran out of time, but you can see the minimum, the structure here. I've got the moss pole, the substrate in. Tomorrow I'll be potting the plants up in here, so that will be exciting. Whoop. Guys, I'm not gonna make it. I didn't make enough substrate. I figured when I'm going to be potting these plants in, I need a lot more substrate to actually pot up the plants, and I didn't make enough, so I don't think I'm going to make it, guys, unfortunately. But that means tomorrow I get to do this again. So tomorrow, guys, it will be part 2 of this vivarium terrarium setup situation, and that's when I'm going to put my plants in. I've figured out the plants that I'm going to put in. Most of them are going to be my baby plants, so there's some orchids and baby philodendrons that I think will hopefully do a bit better inside. But yeah, guys, but can I just say today was a great day. Great day in the sense is just a beautiful day. Like, there wasn't a single cloud in the sky, and that's the sun going down. It's so peaceful. You can hear the birds, the crickets, the water. I'm pretty happy I get to have such a great backyard as well. But guys, thank you so much for watching this video. I might just do a quick update on why there wasn't a video over the weekend, and that was really because I guess, guys, I'm also trying to be mindful about the type of energy I put out there and how I present myself, because I know that I'm presenting myself to, you know, I guess what you see is what you get, right? And I want to come off as, you know, really positive and optimistic, and I know that you guys, some of you guys watch me when you're not feeling that great, and the last thing I want to do is make you guys feel unhappy. But I guess last week I was in a little bit of a funk, and it was hard to pick up a camera and just to be like, hey guys, as if nothing was happening. But I'm feeling a lot better today, guys. And I guess also the other thing was, over the weekend I was helping out around the house, so just helping my parents out, and that's why I couldn't really find the time to film. But guys, this is the last week of daily upload week. Can you believe we're almost there? I'm going to do a video to sort of share my thoughts on the process and what it means going forward in terms of my channel and everything. Nothing serious. I mean, this is not like nothing serious. This is just really just to keep you guys, you know, part of this journey, and hopefully that means a lot more cool stuff to look forward to. But guys, I hope you're well today on this Monday. Hope you have a great start of the week, and I will see you tomorrow. Bye.